Hey guys, this is Hira Babu and you are watching programmingscript.com. So in this lecture we will going to learn about what is a Spring Boot, right? So a Spring Boot makes it easy to create a standalone application, production grade based application, and that you can run just right. So you have to just write the code and you have to just deploy the code in the production, right? So if there is maybe some configurations that you can change like IP and those things, but if you are writing the application, that is 80% to 90% your code is just go to the production. Okay, some of the 20% you have to just change for like IDs, password, and those things. If you have the database database is different and environment is different, right? So a Spring Boot is an advanced module for the Spring framework, and a Spring Boot is a enterprise application development framework in which you can start up the application by simply bootstrapping the application. So we will see how we can do that, right? So Spring Boot creates production ready code, and it means writing the code and deploying to the production. It will takes very less time, right? So Spring Boot can build the end-to-end application in which there will be a database layer, application layer, and business layer. So it is used to the application development where we need rapid application development. So all the end-to-end application will be built. So all the layers will be created in the Spring Boot, not just writing the simple program like that, right? So if you are going to create a layer wise application, Spring Boot is very good for you. Okay, so that's why it is also known as rapid application development module in the Spring framework. So it's very popular in the Spring framework, so better use a framework. Okay, so here there's some of the questions is coming. Okay, before learning the Spring, what is a Spring, right? So Spring is a application framework as of now. So initially, why? Because initially we have DI, dependency injection feature, that made it very popular, right? So Spring used by many developers in the Java, right? So Spring is an application framework now, you can say, and a Spring provides a programming and configuration model, right? So since as of now Spring have many other features rather than dependency injection, developers are free from the code stuff that they have to handle. Only business model and a Spring will take care of the other development code, right? Those issues that developers are getting, right? So Spring provides infrastructure support like connecting to the database and Mongo, Oracle, those things. Spring provides also infrastructure support. So what are the problems with the Spring? So problems was like it has a huge it is a huge framework, and it has a multiple setup steps, and some other configuration steps also there, and it also have if you want to deploy the code, you have to build first and then you have to deploy. So those things are very tough for the Spring. So the Spring Boot bond and give us a painful framework like Spring. If someone is asking to you why the Spring framework is here, so Spring Boot is an advanced Java based framework which is open source, and that is used to create microservices, right? And nowadays everyone is working with the microservices. So what are that we will discuss in the later lectures. So Spring Boot is developed by Pivotal team, and so Spring Boot is ready for the productions, and it we can write standalone application too. Okay, so it is good to have Spring Boot applications. So what is the difference between a Spring and Spring Boot, or why we use a Spring Boot instead of a Spring to develop the REST web services, right? So Spring Boot reduces a lot of configurations, boilerplate code. Spring uses third-party library and with minimum effort, right? So Spring Boot makes easy to create standalone application with the embedded Tomcat, JT, and those things, right? So better Spring, you do not have to configure the Tomcat, you do not have to download and configure those things. Spring have everything. Spring have. So Spring Boot provides metric, health check, externalization, everything it provides. You do not need to write the code, right? So some of the steps we have like we have how to set up the Java 8 in the Windows. You can go to the Oracle instructions. I will share this web page of from my website, and you can just click on this link, and you will get the instruction how to set up the path, right? So we have a Eclipse based Spring tool where you can write the code and you can check the your code, right? So we are going to start with a Spring tool suite where we will write the code and develop the applications. So let's understand कि how the application is giving you the hello world example, right? So let's understand कि we have a in the Spring, if you are going to write REST controller and you are going to enable the auto configurations, right? In a simple Spring example, so what will happen? You have to create a one REST request mapping, and you have to give the method that will return a hello world, right? In that you have to pass a Spring application dot run where it will takes the main class as an argument. We will discuss how is working. So now when you run this main method class, then it will return you. You can call by slash. It will give you the hello world, right? So you do not need to worry about that.